So I think I updated everything, I think. Hopefully nothing else pops up. If it does, and it's an update, you guys can ask for a point. First, I'd like to start with a joke. I think I maybe already went over this. I think it's pretty relevant to what's going on here. So I am a female, and so I am an Fe male, right? And we all know Fe is a symbol for iron, so I am an iron male. Therefore, everybody, I am Iron Man. Yep, I'm Iron Man and not Robert Downey Jr. Anyways, quick. We're just going to learn how to go a little bit backwards today with what we were doing in class. So we're just going to continue where you left off, and we're going to say calculating the concentration of H plus from pH. Now the formula for this is the concentration of H plus equals the antilog of the negative pH. I'm going to put a box around that. Or I could think of it as the concentration of hydrogen equals 10 raised to the negative pH. So I'm going to put a box around that also. It's kind of two different ways of looking at it. Now, today we were playing with this equation. pH equals negative log of H plus. Okay? If they gave us the hydrogen concentration, we would just take the negative log and we'd get pH. Now, in these problems, they want us to go backwards. So, for example, let's say the pH was equal to 2.36. And they want us to find the concentration of hydrogen from that. So today in class, we were taking hydrogen concentration and going to pH. Tonight and tomorrow, we are going to be taking the pH and going backwards. Okay, they're just opposites of one another. So if you were to look at your calculator and look at your logarithm button, you would see that above the logarithm button is 10 to the whatever power, 10 to the x. Same thing if you have one of these calculators. Okay, above your logarithm button, you have 10 raised to the x. That is what is known as the anti-log. It's basically just the opposite of log. And I'm going to go ahead and write that. It's just the opposite of log. Okay, that is not to be confused with ln, which is the natural log. So we are not using the ln. Okay, we are not using natural log. We are only using the log button. So we're either going to hit log button directly, or we're going to have to press shift or second log to do the anti-log, the 10 to the x. Shift or second log to do the anti-log or 10 to the x. So all I need to do is, for this one, so I have my formula, the concentration of H plus equals the anti-log of negative pH. So that's going to be the anti-log of, here's my pH, of negative 2.36. I could also think of this as 10 raised to the negative 2.36, if you'd like to think of it that way. I just think it's easier to know that I take the log of hydrogen to get pH, and I do the opposite of log to get the H plus, to go the opposite way. So it's very simple. I'm going to do the anti-log, which is just shift or second log. So second or shift log, it's probably going to pop up with this. So that's 10 raised to, and I just hit the negative 2.36, and I get my hydrogen concentration, which is 3 sig figs, 4.37 times 10 to the negative 3. Had I just shown it this way and typed the 10 raised to in myself, I would have just typed 10 raised to the negative pH, which is 2.36, and I get the same exact thing. Let's do one more of these. So let's say that the pH equals 8.72, and they want us to find the H+. So it's the exact same thing. I just have my formula. The concentration of H+ equals the antilog of the negative pH. So I'm just going to take the antilog of my negative pH, negative 8.72, and that will give me my H+. So the antilog is just shift or second log. So shift, hit the log button, oops, and I do the negative pH, negative 8.72. And that gives me 1.91 times 10 to the negative 9th. For my H+. And technically it's molarity, so I could go ahead and write in my units there. Now, if you have this calculator, what you would do is you would type in the pH first, so 8.72. You'd make it a negative number, so negative, and then you would hit shift log. So you'd hit shift or second log, and you get your answer. The same thing goes for this one above. Okay, you type in your pH first, which is 2.36. You would make it negative because it is the negative pH, and then you just hit antilog, which is shift or second log, and you get your answer. Okay, I'm going to do the POH right now. Just going to do one example for this. Calculating the concentration of hydroxide from POH. And the formula, it's exactly the same. Concentration of hydroxide equals the antilog of negative POH. I put a box around my formulas. And you could also think of it as the concentration of hydroxide equals 10 raised to the negative POH. So that's just another way of thinking about it. And we're just going to do uno example. If you don't mind, I think I'm going to talk like this the rest of the time. So POH equals 7.73, and they want us to find the concentration of hydroxide. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the antilog of the negative POH. So I'm going to write my formula. That is going to be the antilog of the negative POH, and that is going to give me the concentration of hydroxide. So if I take the antilog of the negative 7.73, let me move this up for you. There we go. So typing this into my calculator, I'm going to hit shift or second log, and I'm going to do a negative POH. So negative of the POH, 7.73. And my calculator spits out 1.86 times 10 to the negative 8. So I'm not quite sure what that accent is, but it's my default accent. So anyways, that gives me my molarity. Once again, if you had this calculator, you would just type in your POH first, 7.73. You'd make it a negative because it asks for a negative. And you'd hit the antilog, so shift or second log. And you get 1.86 times 10 to the negative 8. So I hope you guys have a good evening. And Garvin out.